afternoon. I had another nice morning, and it's another nice day really, but there's a few odd clouds. Anyway, on the radio talking about how unhealthy Brits are. I think there's so many angles to this one. You need to draw a spider diagram. I mean, one obvious thing is our weather is appalling and has been the worst I've known in the last 2 years, with constant oppressive overhead grey, hardly any sun, and the sun has so many health benefits. I'm not going to boringly list them all, but that is one. Two is how much sports has been reduced and cancelled to a place where it's pretty much non-existent in many schools. I always did it about 3 times a week when I was at school. So kids are getting less fit. Then you have the quality of food that's often provided in your big supermarkets, increasingly with a massive list of ingredients that no human should be eating. Then you have the social media and the computer situation where kids are not playing outside, they're on their tablets and computers, mobile phones, etc. On a bigger scale, you may laugh at me when I talk about geoengineering, but they are doing it, and the solar radiation manipulation projects, which basically focus on sulfur dioxide use, is based on a massive volcano eruption that brought down temperature a few degrees, but it did cause starvation from mass crop failure and also spread a great deal of disease. So, you know, you might want to have a look at that, and the fact that governments until now, when they were responsible, used to monitor the amount of sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere because they know it's linked to cardiovascular and respiratory problems in humans. You then obviously have the huge horror show of COVID and the lockdowns being, in my opinion, way worse than the virus, which within a couple of weeks was stipulated to have an IFR rate less than flu for healthy people under 70. But what we did with lockdowns was and the mass hysteria propaganda was make people sit in their houses again, eat a lot more, do less exercise. What was it? You're allowed out once a day. I mean, I can't even go back there. It hurts my brain so much. Then you have the anxiety and the depression from all of that. People not being able to see loved ones, friends, go to work, go to school. And as I said, the constant fear-mongering campaigns, posters, TV, news, people going on about it all the time. And people were told not to bother their GP, not to go to hospital. People didn't get cancer treatments, etc. Huge mess. Then you, on top of that, have the vaccines, which is another big subject that hasn't yet been properly discussed openly by mainstream media. And anyone who's done the research, who follows world-renowned scientists, knows there's a huge story to be had about the COVID vaccines. Obviously, AstraZeneca was taken off the market very quickly for links to clotting. But again, those in the know that there's many more issues with the mRNA ones. And the multitude of problems that they can cause and are continuing to cause. So you've got that. There's just so many aspects to health, and the fact that unemployment is rising rapidly. People are anxious, seeing the mass immigration we're seeing and the changes and the increases in crime and the money that our country's spending on it, and the knock-on effect with the morale and the feel-good in communities is again causing more anxiety, more depression, more unemployment, all of this kind of stuff, less opportunities. And you know, again, it goes back to the kids a lot. When kids are taught in schools about Britain's bad, Britain history bad, I've mentioned this before, masculine bad, all of these things, it's just very negative, not feeling great about yourself and your country. It's all linked together. And then the fact of being taxed like crazy, the cost of living in the UK is crazy, standard of living is going down, people are thinking what's the point in working, or again their self-esteem, their motivation is at rock bottom, and people are rightly thinking what's the point working when I can get more on benefits. It's all linked together. Like, there's so many studies showing the benefits of going to work versus being at home. And obviously I feel really bad for those that literally can't work due to disability and severe health issues, but for those that can and choose not to, it's not a good effect on their health and well-being. So it's, as ever, it's a big holistic problem with many multiple prongs, but it needs people in government who have knowledge and experience and who want to see their population be fit and healthy and have a strong work ethic and a thick-skinned attitude and pick themselves up. You know, we've taught you're not allowed to be competitive, you're not allowed to win. All of this kind of pushes a weak mentality. And going back to the COVID one again, making people scared of a virus that for most people, they didn't even know they had it, or they had a cold, or made people stand apart from each other, made people wear masks, which again don't do anything but impede your natural body's rhythms and ability to breathe and expel viruses, and none of it's healthy. You're just breathing in stale air. Anyway, so yeah, again, none of it's rocket science. All of it could be dealt with very, very quickly, very, very simply. But again, it's needing the right team to kick on with such policies.